Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're looking at the SteelSeries Rival 700 gaming mouse. SteelSeries labelled this as their elite performance gaming mouse. We've looked at one of theirs before and this one's got a few unique features that you may be interested in. So this is suitable for palm, claw and fingertip grips. CPI of 100 to 16,000, which is absolutely ludicrous. If you'd prefer a laser option, they do that as well, and you can interchange it on the bottom. It's very simple to remove with 4 screws. That will give you a maximum CPI of 8,200, and that also has a 150 IPS compared to the one that's default, which is 300. You also get a little bit less acceleration force, but there is that option should you prefer laser over optical. This is on the higher end of the weight scale. It's 135 grams, which is a little bit over what the competitive gamers usually prefer. They like something about 100 grams. Obviously 135 is just slightly over, but that's mainly due to the extra 2 features that are very unique with this mouse. You've got dual zone RGB lighting. Alongside the removable sensor on the bottom, you've also got a removable top cover. You can change that out to a gloss cover if you so wish. Personally, I don't really see the point in that, and tends to be a little bit more slippery over time gaming. So one of the main selling features of this mouse is the OLED panel. This allows you to customize it to different gameplay options and show things like health, maybe you need to reload, potions that are available. The presets you get are for CSGO, Dota 2 and also Minecraft if you download an extra mod pack. We will cover it in a bit more depth later on in the video. And the second thing that's unique to this mouse is tactile feedback. So just like your console gaming controllers, it does have vibration. Now vibration is delivered vertically to your hand, which means when you're zooming in with a sniper rifle, for example, there's no left or right motion to throw out your cursor. Now taking off the outer sleeve of the box reveals the quite unique packaging. Actually, it did really appeal to me. Something a little bit different than what we usually see when you open a mouse. So you've obviously got that split box opening there, which reveals the Rival 700 and also your accessory pack. Now included in that pack you've got 2 length cables. One's a normal 1 meter cable, and you've also got a longer braided 2 meter cable. These go down to a kind of unique jack which goes into the bottom of the mouse, kind of like a 45-degree micro USB connection. Just a case of pushing it into the base of the mouse till it sits home. Then in order to release it, just press the button below and wiggle it out. Okay, so let's take a look at the mouse itself. On plugging it in, you'll get the classic SteelSeries orange, where you can see the OLED bar on the very front of the mouse. While we're here, let's take a look at the buttons. So we've got 3 buttons on the left hand side, which can be programmed to your preference as you'd expect. Now the 2 orange dots are purely there as a thumb reference when you place your hand on the mouse to give you the best optimal positioning for the buttons. And like all mice, it did take me a couple of times of putting my hand on to find that point, but after a few minutes I found it no problem at all, and that's where I went every time. At the back of the mouse we've got the Rival logo. You can see there that's actually removable, and you can custom 3D print your own designs, so you can have your own personalised tag in there or clan name or anything of that nature, which is quite cool. Above that we've got the SteelSeries logo with the 16.8 million colour RGB lighting, and then around that logo we've got a very nice design, and also I really do love the look of that top mouse cover. Doesn't really look the part. Now the 2 main mouse buttons are durable for 30 million clicks, and you've also got a scroll wheel and a DPI quick adjustment. The scroll wheel also has another zone of LED lighting, again with the 16.8 million colours. On the base of the mouse we've got the optical sensor, and as I mentioned before, this is easily removable with 4 screws if you wish to change it out for the laser sensor. Literally could not be easier. Take out the 4 screws, swap the unit over, then screw it back in. Okay, so looking at the lighting, these are just a few of the options that I had to play about with. Personally for me, I like just the white fade in and out. Had it on a 10-second time period, and that's what I like to use just during the day. Just something simple. Either that or I'll go red and white if I want to change it up a little bit. Those are generally my favourite colours to run. Now one thing I do like to note with my reviews is the white that this produces is a spot on white. Some keyboards and mice you see where they're using RGB LEDs, the white can sometimes be maybe too blue. I've seen it a little bit green sometimes as well, but this gets the whites absolutely spot on with perfection. Okay, now onto the SteelSeries engine software. This is very much the same for all the SteelSeries products. You can use it as a general hub to control all of your settings, your RGB colours, game sense, all of that is right in this app. So first of all we're going to go through the different colour options, and I've tried my best to give you an idea of what it'll actually look like. So I've got my webcam set up as I screen recorded the program. Go through a few of the different options. presets are quite nice and easy to get a quick selection on a few different multicolored choices. At the top we've got our trigger speed, that's adjustable for most of them. Set the delay from how fast you want the fade to be, and like you can see here how quick the trigger is. So that's literally one press and then it goes directly back to the preset color. Then you've got the opposite end of the scale when you can set it really long and it takes ages to fade back through. The color doesn't come out great, but that is a really nice red, and obviously going back through to white is going to be slightly orange. Obviously you can disable the illumination if you wish, maybe a better option for playing in the dark. And then my personal favourite, the breathe option. This is quite a high preset, going from red to the SteelSeries orange. As you've got the dual zone lighting, you can set up those parameters on each section. So if you wanted white at the back and blue at the front, you could do that, easily customizable for each side. Onto the LED panel on the side, you can literally draw your own design. There are some available on the website to download. It can run animations as well, but this is what it's going to be using when you're just generally having a browse on your desktop, for example. And then you can set different modes when you get into the games. So if you really wanted to, you could literally write your name. It's just an example of what you can do. Obviously you could get a lot more creative with it, and then add the custom profiles and all sorts of things like that. But I do like the way that it's live previewed. You can turn that off if you wish. I don't really see why you'd turn it off, because it is nice to see things happen in real time rather than saving every time for it to take effect. But it's nice that it's instant and you can see exactly how it's going to look after. Onto the mouse settings. If there's a customizability feature you want, it's pretty much in there. As you can see, I'm going to all the different buttons. Obviously these have got presets as you buy it, and then you can make custom sets down at the side. You can make your macros. So if you're going to be playing World of Warcraft or Dota or anything like that, you can do all your presets on there, all to hand. Then another thing I do like is when you can actually add custom profiles which launch from different apps. So for example, I've got one for GTA, so I may have a bit of tactile feedback on the left button press. We'll get into that in a minute. Nice little left view of the mouse as well, which is quite handy to see what buttons you're going to be customizing. Nice kind of speed dial-esque features for the sensitivity, going up to 16,000 dpi, which is absolutely insane. If you can play on that, then you get an internet cookie, because that's just incredibly quick. Then we've got the tactile functions underneath, so this is where you're going to get your feedback. Now for example, the left button may be a good one if you're playing games such as Battlefield, shooter games, things like that, because every time you press that trigger you can get feedback to know you've taken the shot. Then you've got a massive range of different kind of feedbacks as well, so you've got short ones, fast ones, multiple vibrations at one click. The choice is yours. So onto the game sense software. This is a little bit complicated. I think they could definitely condense this down into one menu rather than having the 3 different pages. It would make it a lot easier. As I said at the start, if you want to use it with Minecraft, you will need to download that extra mod pack. And then you've got a massive plethora of options again. For no matter what option you want to do, there's going to be something for it. You can customize every single feature. Now for you CSGO players out there, you could add it for health, you could add it for whoever, the amount of people that are left in the round. Personally, these 3 games I don't play, so these aren't features that I'd really use. But you can see just going through, there's a massive amount of options, and it's definitely something you're going to want to spend a couple of hours going through and getting it all precisely down how you want it. As if you want all these features, there's no easy way to set it up. It is going to be a time-consuming thing. Okay, so that was quite a hefty software part of the video. Apologies for the length of it, but there was a lot to cover. So onto my conclusion and thoughts. Now, I found this very comfortable to use. I have got big hands and I use a palm grip, and it's no problem to use whatsoever. It is one of the slightly longer mice that I've used, but it still does feel very comfortable. I really love the aesthetics as well. The top mouse cover that's got that kind of gunmetal silver, and texture looks really nice. It does look nice on the desk with the white breathing animation. That's my personal favourite of colour to go with it. Personally, for me, the tactile feedback was something I didn't really use. I'm used to playing games without that. If I wanted to have any kind of vibration, I'd use a controller. I just think that's how, if you use a controller, you get feedback from it. If you go mouse and keyboard, you don't. That's kind of what I'm used to, and that's how I'm going to keep it. The OLED bar, I can see that useful for some people. Personally, it's not something I could see myself using, because I find I get very immersed when I play games. and I'm not going to be looking down at my mouse every few seconds to check my health or some kind of status in the game. I just love to get really focused on the game and get into it. The only time I'll ever look down from my screen is if I've got a notification on my phone, for example, or there's something else I need to check on my second screen, something like that. But I'll generally never ever look down to my mouse and keyboard, just because I know where everything is and I'm used to that. So there's really, for me, there's no need to ever look away from it. That's a very personal thing though. Some people may find themselves looking down, maybe to find the edge of the mouse mat, make sure they're not going too far off. But like I said, it's very much down to the individual. The 3 buttons on the side are really handy as well. Personally, I've been using them for editing. I've used it for selection tool and cut and ripple edit. I'm assigning those on Premiere Pro, just literally assigning them to a letter on the keyboard. Just makes it a little bit more quicker and convenient. Then throughout the games I've played with this, it's been a really thoroughly enjoyable experience. Personally, I do like a heavier mouse, so the weight isn't an issue for me, but where I did mention the competitors may like a slightly lighter mouse, that's where kind of the vibration and the OLED screen has added that little bit of extra weight. And if you're not after those features, then maybe look at the Rival 500, as that's another great option, just without these 2 features if you don't want them. If you want to get yourself one of these Rival 700s, I will put a link in the description box below. If you enjoyed this video and you haven't already, please consider subscribing. Thank you for SteelSeries for sending this out for me to review, and I'll see you all in the next video.